We are here. Welcome. Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the All Gains podcast, video, live, whatever you guys want to call it. All Gains Live, right? So we are back with another live stream for you guys. Here we are in person, in real time. If you guys have any comments, questions, anything you want to put in the live chat, go ahead. We will respond. We will take a look and bring it on.
Yeah.
So today, the live stream is going to be reacting and reviewing a video. It's about a 35-minute video from Bulldog Mindset. Shout out to him. This is not it's not really a critique per se. It's not really it's not to put him down. It's not to pick on him. It's not to be a dickhead. It's not to be any of that. It's kind of analyze, critically think. Hopefully we can all learn something from this video. This topic goes into his marriage and his divorce and what happened, and we're gonna go and talk about the mindset of that.
Yeah.
And since Mike is a married man, he can also talk a lot on the topic regarding some of the aspects. And we're just gonna talk about marriage and divorce as a whole, the concept, goods, the bads, how Bulldog Mindset, aka John Sam, has dealt with
All
the
this
trials and
stuff.
tribulations that come. Marriage is not all that's cracked up to be, but it's also not like doom and gloom. It depends on who you are. It depends on who you are as a man, what you want in your life. Are you prepared? Are you actually marriage material? Can you actually see yourself in a relationship with a female, or vice versa? Can you as a female see yourself as in a relationship with a man? Can you handle that man? Are you prepared to actually complement someone else's life? So we're gonna go right into the video that we're gonna be reacting and reviewing to.
Yep.
So this should be interesting. So hopefully we can all learn something.
Yes.
And
Let's try to learn. Look at this 33, almost 30,
is
well,
it possible
34
to
minutes.
make us a little bit bigger in the screen? Yeah, like it's like are we able to or not? We're still learning, guys. We're still learning the system.
There.
Yeah, we can rock
There.
with that.
Well, here, if you
Yes.
like that, we'll stick with that. How about that?
You wouldn't get off my dog. Yes, you wouldn't get off of me. Go ahead, do it. Steal my kid again. I didn't steal your kid. You took my balls away. You're taking my property.
On January 4th, 2022, my secret 19-year marriage officially ended. For the last 7 years, I've been hiding that I was ever married and scrubbing away all the evidence. In this video, I'm shining a light on everything I've kept hidden and telling you the full story for the first time ever.
Actually, let's pause it real quick. That's a lesson right there. So a lot of you guys need to keep in mind that your favorite content creator or celebrity or someone that you follow, someone that you really believe, it could be anybody that you really, that you stick to on the internet, anybody you idolize, anybody. You don't know them in real life, most likely, and you don't know what really goes on behind the scenes. A lot of people assume things, and it's in Bulldog Mindset's complete right to have his privacy when it comes to his online life
Exactly.
versus his private life, and that's okay. But it's just important for the audience to understand, and anybody watching, that everyone there are things especially like anything that you watch and you consume, Hollywood too, or friends, family, there are always things behind the scenes you don't know about. So we need to not always assume everything that we think, because you never know what's really true, what's really not. So take that with a grain of salt. Like anybody online that you follow for advice, just make sure you're following the right people and you're not getting caught up in webs that are damaging your mind. You want to just make sure that you try to not try to be the person that you're idolizing or watching on YouTube, and you want to just take away the good things that can improve your life, and not, just don't assume everything. Just keep an open mind to everyone that you follow and try to take advice from, because you don't know the ins and outs of everything the way they are. And the smartest of men will always be a little bit critical and a little skeptical about certain things, and they always keep an open mind and are always open to hearing the truth, and you know keeping things very rational. Anything
Yeah,
else to
like
say on that?
like Bulldog Mindset, by him keeping his marriage like technically a secret, I guess, on the internet is perfectly okay because everyone on the internet doesn't need to know everything that you do. And if you want to keep them a secret for specific reasons, like examples like Andrew Tate, like he, you know, I guess he has a daughter, I guess, and so or has a
Multiple
child.
kids,
So
who knows? Yeah.
yeah, and so him keeping that a secret for so long is purposeful because if he is a very controversial person and people do not like him and people are very emotional, they might want to try to do something. And so making by having them secret and having them, you know, pretty much hidden from the public, then no one will ever know and they can never be hurt. But once they are out in the public, then people can try to come in to, you know, fuck shit up. And that's just not okay. And so keeping it hidden, keeping it a secret, I feel like is perfectly fine, especially when you are dealing with the people, the weirdos on the internet. So
Yeah, Bulldog
um,
is actually, he does share certain things about his life on the internet, like his the
yeah,
way he makes money and all that. So he is successful in real life in some things, but not everybody's perfect, and everyone comes from a place of beginnings, and you have to learn. Like, we're gonna find out, I guess, right? So let's keep
yeah,
going. Nice editing.
great job.
So, I was 20 years old, living in Santa Monica, California.
Oof.
I just moved from Boise, Idaho, and I packed up all my stuff into my little Geo Metro to take a high-paying job as a software developer. I really didn't know how to meet women, so occasionally I would play around on some of the old internet chat rooms called IRC. When I met a girl who went by the name Lady Heather, we had a bit of flirty banter back and forth. And we decided to exchange ICQs. Think, the predecessor to AOL Instant Messenger or Facebook Messenger today. We continued the banter a bit the next day, and she told me that she would be friends with me. I said, no thanks. I don't have any female friends. I only talk to women I'm romantically interested in. At first, she rejected that idea and said she was only interested in being friends. But then a few minutes later, she came around and said,
A few
okay.
minutes later.
Along
We
this
should talk about that maybe
relationship,
for a second, right? Because people will ask or think, what are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I don't have any female friends. I've already fucked all of them, so yeah, I don't have any female friends. The female friends that I did have, I already smashed, and that's been done with. That's been a long time, and they're happy in other relationships now. All the female friends that I've smashed, so good for them. Very happy for them. But yeah, that's just, I can't be me. I got the boys. I got Mike. I got a friend Joe that you've seen in old videos, and we got the boys, right? And shout out to Pete. Shout out to half of Nick. Shout out to
All these guys out there.
Shout out to the boys out there that we got in real life, right? And a lot of people don't have a bunch of male friends, so a lot of guys go out, a lot of girls don't realize that guys are just trying to sneak into the vagina by being their friend, and that's not me. I like to be straight up. If I find you attractive, I'm gonna try to smash or something more, or we're just not gonna talk at all because I don't know. I just know what I want to invest my time in. But what do you think about male and female friends?
Yeah, I don't really per se say that I have female friends because I don't really talk to anybody. Like how I define a female friend is someone who I like. If it's a friend that's a female is someone that I would be talking to a lot. I don't text any females other than my wife, and the majority of the females that I would be talking to, if I would, are all her friends, and I don't talk to them unless if they come and talk to me. I don't really like they can. I would like for them to believe that I'm their friend, but I would rather keep it that way. And I just for me, I just see them as, oh, Sarah's friend, Sarah's best friend, whatever. I just be like, yeah, okay, you're there. And I just wave and say my shit and I go away. I don't really
play Titanic. Bye.
Yeah, I just don't really like. I wouldn't really consider them a female friend. I just consider them a female who is friends with my wife that I see.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think if it's not like a business interaction or something that's going on for the money or like maybe or like how we would get girls for like podcasts or something, I don't think there's really no reason to. I don't know. What am I gonna do? Go out to get coffee with one of my female friends? Like, no, I got work to do. We need to do the YouTube channel. We got to go to the gym. We have our actual jobs in real life. We got a bunch of things that we got to do. I don't have time. But what am I gonna do with girls that I'm not smashing? What am I doing?
Yeah, you don't
call me whatever you want.
Inviting any of any of my wife's friends over just to like watch a movie. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, this is
What?
be. It's like, what? What are you
That's like
doing?
that's like borderline cheating. That's like that's not even okay.
Anyway, let's continue.
Developed over time with us chatting online every day and then eventually talking on the phone. One of my friends from Idaho, Jason, came down to LA and moved in with me. His family happened to be from a little town just outside of Rexburg, Idaho, where this girl was going to school. He was going up there for Thanksgiving to visit his family, and he invited me along. So I decided, hey, I'll go and see if I could meet her in person. We hit it off very well in person, and so I started flying her back and forth to visit me on some weekends, and we talked on the phone almost every night.
Okay, maybe we.
Because of
I'm sorry, John. I gotta hit the button on you. I'm sorry, bro. Normally, I would not. I mean, I would not tell personally. I would not tell people to spend so many hours on the phone and flying the girl out. I just wouldn't be recommending to the average guy. Maybe there could be some rare exceptions, but the average guy would not recommend that. If long distance relationships don't usually work out, it's just not really pointless. It's better using your time to meet girls that are more local, maybe, right? Going out and meeting them in real life, bars or at events or you name it, ShopRite, who cares? And I just would not recommend calling on the phone all the time, long distance. That's just a waste of time. You could be doing better things. For the average guy, just saying. I know there are some rare exceptions, but those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say otherwise.
of her Mormon upbringing, she was very quickly starting to talk about getting married. At first, she would hint at it, and then eventually it developed into her getting upset that I wasn't proposing to her, to the point where she would threaten to not even talk to me anymore. I had some major concerns about her behavior towards me.
That's a red flag. That's a really big red flag.
Sorry, Bulldog Mouse. We gotta.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm sorry about this. Gotta hit you with one there.
Yeah,
I
just no.
If a girl says if you don't marry me, I'm not gonna talk to you, and I was like, what the? I can't. It can't be me. Can't be me. Can't be doing that.
That wasn't even me. Literally, she would just be upset that I haven't done it yet, and then she wouldn't like try to give me no ultimatum or nothing. She would just be like, I'm just sitting here waiting.
Yeah, you gotta. If a woman starts acting like that towards me, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Do you
Yeah,
want to go back to
no.
booty call only? Don't make me. Don't make me downgrade you.
Don't make me downgrade
you. Yeah, but
Oh,
let's
no.
keep going.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how she could be so mean sometimes. But I didn't really want to lose her. And
No,
I
you should've.
wasn't sure if I would find another girl who would like me. I remember sitting at Wendy's talking to two
no.
of my good friends about whether I should get married, and neither of them thought it was a good idea.
Probably should listen to your friends. I'm sorry.
Sometimes your friends know best.
Yeah.
You ever heard Andrew and Mike know best? You guys ever heard of that?
Andrew and Mike know best.
Yeah.
Just know. When you think
I would have
about
told him
things-
don't do. Yeah, I would have told him don't do it.
Don't do it.
But thinking she would
I wonder where those friends are
change,
now.
and thinking that I could just show her enough love and commitment to get her to change,
No,
I decided to purchase the ring anyway.
no.
I proposed at the airport one day when she was getting off her flight to go see me. We bought a Shih Tzu puppy that we named Muffin and went to dinner at the Cheesecake Factory to celebrate. But something was just still not sitting right.
Something was absolutely
Yeah,
wrong.
no,
I mean, a lot of guys go through this as well. It's not just this guy right here. A lot of you guys out there, you do the same
Do
thing.
stuff
You
like
you
this,
just fall in
yeah.
love with the pussy too easily, and then you do all these things that you're not completely comfortable with, but you're just like, okay, well, I kind of like her. I really love her, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And then you get yourself in some shit, and then it just doesn't.
But you know what? I want to give Bulldog Mindset a little bit of credit right now. He's literally talking about this stuff in fucking public and outside. He's
Yeah.
literally
A lot of
outside
people
where
would
people
never
can
have the
like walk
balls.
around and like get into his shot or whatever, and like people can hear whatever he's saying. Like he's like, I'm gonna give him that. I really want to give him that he's talking about a lot of this stuff that could be triggering to him or whatever. A lot of this stuff like that's personal. He's just saying it out in public, out in the open. And I appreciate that because he could just be doing this in his office, with his Bulldog Mindset, logo in the background, like saying some stuff, talking
Yeah.
about what he's talking about right here in the comfort of his office. But he's doing it outside. It's pretty much like I feel like it's more of like him doing it like this is kind of like a punishment. Like I went through this stupid shit. I did this to myself. Now here's my punishment for having to go.
He is
through it.
being transparent, so
So-
that's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Shortly after, when she was done with school, she moved in with me in my apartment in Santa Monica,
No.
and I kicked my roommate Jason out. And by August of
Poor
that year, we were married. I was 21 and she was 19, and we both had a lot to learn about life and relationships.
Poor Jason.
Oh boy.
Feels bad.
Hi, my name's
Oh no, we don't care about your ugly ass bitch. Yeah, so while this is going, yeah, I feel bad for Bulldog and for Jason that he kicked him out. Kind of sucks.
My relationship with my ex-wife was abusive, mostly
Uh-oh.
emotionally abusive, but there was some physical abuse as well when she would really lose her temper and try to hit me in any way she could. A large part of that problem was that I was weak as a man.
Okay, so
we
we know the problem. Now, okay, wait.
Stop it. Get some help.
You should have immediately gotten help. But it is unfortunate that that happens. You know, a lot of guys do, you know, people, the mainstream, they always talk about the man hitting the woman, but sometimes it is the woman hitting the man. And the reason he just said it, he admitted it, is because he was weak and he tolerated that. If a girl hit me in a relationship that I gave a ring to, I give you $2,000 for a ring and you hit me? What? Downgraded to booty call immediately. You're done. It is like
right to jail.
I would love a woman to hit me just once. Please, just slap me in the face one time so I can get rid of you. And then I can be free and I'll find someone who won't hit me. Please. Or let Mike's wife hit him and punch him in the face. It's over. It's done. Give me the ring. You're done. We're gonna get this. You're moving out. You're deaf. You hit me because I would never hit a woman. First.
I would never hit a woman first.
Yeah, I would, you know, I would defend myself. I would put my, you know, if she hit me, but I would never tolerate a woman hitting me at all. And a woman who is with me in a situationship or relationship knows not to hit me, because otherwise I'm out of there. I don't take that,
Yeah.
and none of you guys should take that either. Of course, women shouldn't take that from men either, but they do. But this is about him, not a girl. So, guys, don't never tolerate being physically abused by your spouse partner ever again. If you do, done. Don't care if you love her or him. Don't care. Done. Out. Bye.
Yeah,
Anything else?
exactly. Yeah, just anyone who's dealing with abuse, just get the fuck out.
And I'm sorry to hear
please.
that Bulldog mindset. I'm sorry to hear that you had to go
Yeah.
through that. You know, not every man is strong enough to stand up to himself to a woman.
But
if she abuses him,
yeah,
unfortunately.
but at least he knows that at least he's aware of what his issue was. Because sometimes guys just don't even realize like what's actually the problem. Like he said that it was because he was weak, but a lot of guys that might go through the same thing, they might not realize that they were just being very weak and not actually, you know, taking control of the situation.
At least he learned. That's what
Yeah.
matters. That's the
I was
important.
still young at 21 years old and had not yet learned what it is to act like a man.
Oof. Oh,
Even
yeah.
though my emotional control was
Who's
greater
different?
than hers, it was nowhere near the stoic attitude I have today. I let her walk all over me. I tolerated huge amounts of disrespect and name calling. I didn't have clear boundaries, and because of my religious upbringing, I thought that marriage was forever, and no matter what, you never leave or give up. I didn't yet understand that you get what you accept in life, and that you train people how to treat you. For years and years, I kept trying to show her how much I loved her, thinking that would stop the abuse. I tried to be the perfect husband, but no matter how hard I tried, it was never good enough. She would lose her temper over some little thing, and it would be World War III again.
Yes.
I tried to calm her down.
So, you know, let's talk about changing women. You cannot. It is not going to happen. A woman is who she. I mean, you can influence a woman, but you cannot necessarily change her entire, you know, brain chemistry, so
Yeah.
to speak, right? You cannot completely transform. I mean, you know, as I said, influence is possible, but
they can change themselves, but you can't do it. You can't change them. Like they can change themselves if they really wanted to. Like how we could change ourselves if we wanted to. Like if we wanted to change for a woman, like we could.
yeah, like very
Should
simple.
we?
yeah.
No, but it's the possibility of the actual person being able to do it on their own. You can't influence. Well, you can influence someone, but you can't change them completely. They will always have like a sort of resentment to you trying to change them, and that would be also vice versa to guys as well.
Yeah, like very simple example. Let's say a woman hits you, and then you have two options, right? You can say, don't ever do that again. If you do that one more time, if you ever call me a name, we are done immediately. You could do that. Or you can go the option B, which most guys do, is, wow, I can't believe you did that. Try and please don't do that
Don't do
again.
that.
I'm sorry. And you try to reason with her because you don't want to lose her, right? And if she's under your influence, if you say don't ever do that again, otherwise we're done, she's never gonna do it again.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be done.
Or if she does, then you're done.
Exactly. But if you tell her not to do it again and she does it again, well, there's obviously no respect there, and then it's over. I mean,
Yeah,
you just
and-
got to find someone you're more compatible with, and yes, they do exist. There is someone, for everyone. Right?
Yeah.
There's a
And
bunch of good matches
also
out
if
there.
you get hit and you told after you already had told her to never do that again or else, and she does it again, not only is that disrespect to her, but if you don't do anything about it, then you're just being disrespectful to yourself,
Then you lose. Yeah.
and you just lose completely.
Down and reason with her, but it would only make her more angry. She would eventually calm down and apologize and say she would never do it again. I would always believe it because I wanted to believe it so badly.
Actions over words.
But it was never true. Many nights I would hide my tears as I cried at night, wondering why this was happening to me and what was so wrong with me that I could not be loved. I felt like I was the only one who could save her, the only one who would love her, so I stayed. Before I continue the story, I want to break down a few important lessons I learned from being in this kind of abusive relationship. First of all, never get married to someone who you don't already have a 10 out of 10 relationship with. If you don't rate the relationship as a 10 out of 10 right now, don't assume you will grow into it. Either this person is not right for you, or you're not ready on your path of personal development to be in a serious relationship with a person at this time. You must work on yourself to attract the person who you want to be with. At the time when I got married, I was not the person I needed to be. I was weak and I didn't have boundaries. I was full of insecurity around my looks and other aspects of myself. I was not well grounded as a man, and I lacked patience and self-discipline. As a result, I attracted someone who also had many problems themselves. Do not ever get pressured into getting married. It doesn't matter if
What's so funny with that, like now, like he's like looking back at it, but I was just like going through this entire thing. He literally said it in the beginning when he was talking to his friends about doing it, and they told him no. And then now he's saying don't get pressured. Like, who pressured you, bro? I don't know who pressured you, unless like you yourself pressured yourself. Like, I get that.
Yeah, he pressured himself.
Like, you pressured yourself, but like your friends were not pressuring you. Maybe your parents, maybe, but like at the same time, like you got to think about that. You like it's really important to really not feel pressured into doing something. And
Yeah,
if
you guys
feel,
really,
if
yeah.
you like feel like you're being pressured, then you need to be like, you need to take a step back, be like, whoa, like
Yeah,
no,
and
you ain't
you have to
pressuring
take
me
a
on
long
this.
time to vet a woman and
Yeah.
see if you guys are compatible before you ever buy her a ring. That's going to take time. You're going to have to, have her, let her do things that you like her to do, and things that you guys could be compatible with.
Yeah, like
And-
I could have proposed like probably years earlier, but I decided not to because I didn't want, number one, I felt like when people were asking me originally, like around that time, like it felt like people were starting to pressure me. So I was like, no. And then I was like, I need to make sure I do my due diligence on this whole situation and make sure it's right. So that's how men should be. If they're going to get married, if you don't want to get married, you don't want to get married. But if you do, listen to what I'm saying.
Sure.
your parents really want you to get married, or your girlfriend is upset by your lack of commitment or any other reason. It has to be a choice not only that you willingly make, but that you want to make. If you aren't excited about the idea of spending your life with this one special person, don't do it.
I just thought you were absolutely.
Don't get yourself into some shit that you really weren't ready for. And I can attest to that 100%. I say, just if you're not ready to get married, don't get married, please. Please.
Yeah, you should
Set
really-
boundaries and stick to them.
No.
If you don't know what boundaries are, that's okay. Most people don't. Boundaries are like an imaginary line that separates you and your feelings, responsibilities, and even physical space from other people. A boundary says what is and what isn't acceptable for the people who you want to be in your life. For example, you might set a boundary that you will not allow someone to yell at you in discussion. This is a good boundary because it is saying what you will or will not allow versus telling someone else what they must do. If you're having a disagreement with your girlfriend and she starts yelling at you, you would clearly state your boundary by saying, hey, I know you're emotional and I would like to have this discussion with you, but it's not acceptable to yell at me. So please keep your tone respectful.
Pretty much.
If she chooses to continue to yell, you leave the situation and you do not proceed with the communication. Had I set boundaries like that one early on in that relationship, it would have either changed the way she treated me or I would have exited the relationship. Either way, I could have avoided the abusive situation I ended up in.
Yes.
Now, before we get back to the story, I want to give you a few books that I think will greatly help you to set boundaries and learn how to be a man who has a backbone but is still loving and kind in a relationship. First, I'd recommend you read the book Boundaries by John Townsend and Henry Cloud. It's a bit religious, but don't let that deter you from reading the book. It is an especially good book for those of you who have parents who make you feel guilty. Second, I recommend the book The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. This book is essential reading for learning how to be masculine in a relationship with a woman and has some good advice about being a man in general and understanding and dealing with women. Finally, read The Masculine in a Relationship by G.S. Youngblood. If you're in a relationship right now and it's not going well, read this book first. It may save your marriage or prevent a messy breakup. This book takes some of the wisdom of the previous two books and combines it in a very practical way with some additional insights. Even though the relationship was abusive and I felt like my needs weren't really being met.
Okay, before he gets into this, yeah, if you guys need to use books, I say definitely go read those.
Yeah,
if
and
you
get off
need 'em.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Get off that dumb app. Stop, please don't.
Stop
Just
watching
get off.
stuff on
Read a book
Netflix or
instead.
Disney
Get your
Plus.
mind a little bit more pumping. Get some education. You know, it's nothing wrong with reading a book that may improve your mind. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Don't let
exactly.
anyone shame you. You know, or if everyone else is on their phone and you're the only one with a book, good, so be it. You're already in the top 1%. Celebrate that by reading more.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
eating healthy. Steak and eggs, baby. Steak and eggs.
Oh yeah.
Matt, I stayed to try and make it work. I thought that I could make it work if I could just get through to her. She really wanted a baby, and I didn't because I felt like I didn't want to have a child, which could cause further separation when my needs were already not being met. I felt like I wanted to be in a stable place where everything was great before having a child, and I wasn't even
We
sure if I
talked about
ever
that.
even wanted.
It's more of your lane than mine, but like because a lot of people they have kids way too quick with someone
Yeah.
and they fuck up their life. I'm talking to a lot of morons out there that think that a baby will make their relationship better, and then it gets worse. And now you have a kid, and then you're on child support, and then your finances are messed up, and then you're never gonna get that GTR that Nissan GTR you always wanted because you had a baby. But like you gotta really plan these things out, guys. You gotta be very critically thinking here when
Yeah.
you nutting people. You know, I mean, like you just when kids get involved, everything is different.
Yeah.
The whole dynamic changes. Everything it's two different worlds. If you don't want kids, cool, it's a little bit different. But if you have kids, that's a whole life in your hand.
Yeah,
And you gotta take care of that because a lot of kids end up fucked up these days, and our society is getting worse by the day. So we
Yeah.
gotta stop the bullshit immediately.
we gotta
Any
chill
other
out.
thoughts?
I feel like if you want to have a child, right? It's okay that you want one. That's perfectly fine. I feel like you need to make sure that your life and the way that you are, living in it, and with the people that you're living in it with, are stable enough, and especially monetarily, because kids, not like everything in life is expensive. And if you add another, if you add a child to that, not only is it like more things that you have to buy for them to survive, but you also have to buy more food. And
Yes.
so, because that's another mouth you got to feed now. So
Just make sure
having a child is, I've heard a lot of great things. It's really cool. Like it's a great experience and stuff, but like when you really think about it, like it's a lot of stuff you got to think about. It's a lot of stuff you got to worry about, especially when it comes to the goals that you have in your life, and the goals that you have set for the relationship that you're in already. If you both want to have a baby and you feel like it's necessary, and I wouldn't say necessary, but if you feel like that you're in a good spot, then I say why not? You, by all means, if you are in a good spot and you can make things work the way that you feel like it's necessary, and you're not either being forced into it, or you're not it's not like coming at you from the blue. Like if you are prepared and you're about it mentally, physically, everything, if you know what you're doing, perfectly fine. But if you really don't, if you don't like stop and really think about it, and you're like, oh, I can't be doing this, then don't yet. Like wait until you're at a specific point in your life where you're like, okay, this is the time, we're ready, like let's go. And yeah.
You guys, step number 1 is the most important. These are the 3 steps. We might be able to make even a short out of this. The 3 big steps are, first of all, knowing the 3 steps of having a kid, right? Is first of all, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what you want in society and life, and understanding yourself as a man and your mission in life, and what you are prepared to deal with in life and adapt to, and what you want for yourself and your goals and your ambition and all that kind of stuff, and then affirm that. The second is choosing the right woman to be with in general. So just like he said with the advice, right? 10 out of 10 woman, if don't marry a woman unless you have a 10 out of 10 relationship with her and you know that it is for sure and things are going actually great and you feel comfortable when you're getting. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, make sure you know you can have a baby with this woman, because as I said, babies change everything. So make sure you know that she's the right woman to impregnate and create a good family unit from. Otherwise, something's going to go wrong. Your kid's going to be messed up. The woman's going to get messed up from having a baby too early with the wrong man, which would be you, and you guys are not compatible. So make sure you guys have those 3 steps. So step number 1, know yourself. Step number 2, know your compatibility with your woman. And step 3 is know your compatibility to have a child with this woman. Big 3 steps. What are your comments on that? Anything else to add, or
Yeah.
did I hit it?
I think you hit it on the mark. Yeah, like I said before, like if you know what you're doing, go for it. If you clearly don't just don't, please.
To have children. I felt that it wouldn't really be fair to her, though, to not have a child if she really wanted to be a mother, because this was her one only opportunity in life to be a mother, and things did seem to be improving slightly. But I was also concerned that she'd lose her temper and display the same level of emotional abuse to a child.
If you think that, then
despite my concerns, I allowed her to have what she wanted, and we had a baby girl. During the pregnancy, she almost magically seemed to drop all of the abusive behavior. So I thought that perhaps this would change things, but I was wrong. When my daughter was born, I decided to focus more on my work and my goals, since I was feeling more isolated. So I poured myself into my work to escape. And I think to some degree because I was starting to accept that I was never going to get what I wanted, and I would just have to find a way to fend for myself. My daughter's childhood was rough. My ex-wife homeschooled her, but the homeschooling often turned into yelling and crying sessions, with many harsh things being said to my daughter.
Damn, son, man, that hurts. That honestly really hurts. I
see, once again, it's just like what I was saying. You got to know yourself, know the woman you're with, and then make sure you can have a baby with that woman. He obviously he had an instinct feeling that he knew something was wrong, that he should not be having a kid with this woman, but he did it anyway. Should not have done that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that he has a daughter. It's cool that hopefully she's healthy now. Unfortunately, a little bit of a rough childhood growing up, with the parents. But you guys can avoid that if you just really be careful out there,
and know what you're doing.
Trust your instincts and don't make any dumb decisions.
Yeah, and we've
use your dick to your advantage. Just be, dick is a gift. Use that gift wisely.
And we've talked about like father the homes and stuff. We had a video that we did previously on that. I say definitely go watch that. It was Patrick with David. It was a video that we reacted to. But like, yeah, like what he pretty much was doing in a sense was technically being like having the child be fatherless. Like he was barely like around, especially and like not like I feel like unless if he says it later, when we continue this, but it seemed like he was just letting the mother like just take over and do whatever, and he was just laying back, and he wasn't like being back up to the daughter. Because if it was me and my wife and the mother of my child was furiously yelling at my child
no way.
because they can't learn a specific way, oh, you best believe like something's gonna happen. No way in hell would I let that slide.
I thought about leaving then, but now I was worried about leaving my wife and her getting upset and taking it out on my daughter.
I would have taken the daughter.
I was also worried about not being around to be able to protect and defend her. The turning point for me was ironically a Tony Robbins seminar that my ex-wife had suggested I go to and made a payment for as a gift to me. The event was a life-changing experience, and I came back determined to right what I had done wrong in the relationship and to step up and be the masculine man that I had neglected to be. I came back with a renewed commitment and fervor to fix the relationship and make things work. I was not met with the reception or the reciprocation I had expected. And after
he has this great, seminar, life-changing experience, and he goes back and he tries to fix things. Sometimes relationships, it's a very harsh lesson that many of you should learn or will learn
The hard way.
soon. Unfortunately, not everyone's going to make it out of this one easy, but you guys have to know that you can't always fix someone. You just can't do it. Some relationships are not meant to sprout. They're meant to die and be destroyed immediately. You need to break that shit off. It's just how it is. You're not compatible with you're not compatible with every woman that you fuck. It's just not happening. Chemistry is beyond sex. It's beyond the one night stand. It's beyond, it's beyond just the looks. It's beyond the first date. It's beyond all that. It's about long term. Can you, actual chemistry.
Yeah,
And
respect, desire, stuff like that.
Yeah,
all of that mixed in.
And you guys a lot of people have scarcity mindset, so you fall for the first girl that gives you a little bit of pussy, and then you end up making some life-changing mistakes.
Yeah,
so,
like he is right now.
Yeah, so don't be trying to fix people. Just sometimes accept that relationships are fucked and you messed up, and then you can find someone better, and everything can be happy ever after. But let's continue.
Trying for some time, I finally had enough. But through this experience, I really started going deep on my personal development and healing. Stoic philosophy changed my perspective. I stopped seeing myself as a victim and started taking responsibility for my life. I began to realize that I didn't have to allow people to treat me in a way that I didn't want to be treated. I didn't have to tolerate disrespect. I could remove myself from it and not engage with it. I was finally realizing my own value as a man. Then finally, about 6 years ago, I decided to basically give up. I decided I was going to stop caring what she did and how she acted, and instead I was just going to do whatever I wanted to do. That's when I started doing something that I'm not exactly proud of, but may have been necessary as part of my personal growth. You see, all the picking up women and game-related content you may have seen on this channel was actually real. It was based on my real life experiences and what I was learning. At the point in which I had enough, I decided I was going to live my life how I pleased and accept whatever consequences may come from it. I really should have left the relationship then, but I was still afraid for my daughter, and I was also afraid of the financial consequences. Also, I didn't want to break up the family. I figured I could do my own thing on the side, thus fulfilling my needs and managing to still keep the family together. Since she wasn't ever going to give me what I wanted in life, I felt I deserved to get it myself, and I could do this without going through the drama and financial consequences of a divorce. I was cheating instead of leaving. Not proud of it, so I justified it in my head, and I decided to stray outside of the relationship, and I started practicing game in real life. It didn't take me long to get hooked. All this time of dealing with the abuse had left a big hole in my heart and my ego. And here were all these young, attractive women who not only were attracted to me physically, but praised me and thought I was the best man they had ever met. This constant pumping of my ego was addicting. Even though I knew I was doing the wrong thing, I felt like I couldn't stop myself. I liked the feeling of being wanted and desired too much. Also, I felt...
What's the hit on here, man?
Yeah.
So he did the ultimate sin, I guess. He was cheating on his wife.
Oh, yeah.
So that's we're gonna have to hit you on the... Sorry, buddy.
Damn.
Cheating is a no-go.
Yeah, we don't approve.
Normally,
However,
only males cheat, not men. I really don't. That's what I usually say. I don't think that men should be cheating on their. You really gotta be careful. As I said, it goes back to you got to be really careful about who you get into a relationship with in a marriage, and you really don't want to have to cheat on your wife. I really don't like that.
Yeah,
I know plenty of people who've cheated on their wife, and wives that are cheating on their husbands. Oh God, if you guys. Mike laughs because Mike knows my actual stories and things I've been through and things I've done, right, Mike?
Oh, man.
He knows.
Those are
Mike has the receipts, so he's seen it all.
Sometimes those stories are scary, but they're funny.
Yeah, Mike is always entertained by my life.
Oh, very entertaining.
I have seen the good and the bad about marriages and cheating and infidelity and OnlyFans. I mean, I've seen but
Seen it all.
but you know, it's very important to this is exactly why you shouldn't get married to the wrong person, because you get, you know, the craving of oh man, there's so many things. Like the craving of feeling alone is the craving to not feel alone is extremely powerful, and it'll make you do crazy things. That's why a lot of people in dead bedroom marriages, they're just waiting to die pretty much, you know. Like I gotta be having sex all the time. That's just me. I love it, but I can't be in a dead relationship like that. I gotta be doing my thing, you know. And a lot of people they stay in marriages because of the kids, because of the finances. And unfortunately, divorce is very nasty, and whole businesses and corporations are built on divorce. And you don't want to get yourself into that. So you really have to be careful about what you get yourself into. And unfortunately, he was cheating. I guess we're gonna find out what happened with that. But you know, it's just don't cheat, guys.
Yeah.
Find yourself a woman who you know you would never have to cheat on. That's how that. Remember, 10 out of 10 relationship. He's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You find a relationship where you would know you would never cheat, because this girl is just so about you and it's just so good and it feels so right. But a lot of you guys are not. Even people watching this are not probably in a healthy relationship. You think you are. I'm talking to some people, but not everybody. Some of you watching this, you think you're in a good relationship, but when you really peel back the layers and you really deep thinking into it, you're probably not in the best relationship you could be in. So something to think about. I'm not coming to anybody. Just there are some couples out there that really need to reevaluate things, and it's unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. And you know, never too late to improve. And
cheating is just a terrible thing.
Don't cheat.
That you should be. It's just something you should never be doing, whether you're a man or a woman. Because if there was a specific issue that is making you do this, you should probably have just left the relationship that you're in so you could prevent it from being cheating. Especially when it comes to guys. If you're in a relationship where you feel like you need to cheat, you should probably just get the hell out of that relationship, regardless of whatever consequences it might get you in. Because if you put yourself in a terrible spot where you need to then cheat, that's on you, bro. You need to fix that situation by either leaving or by handling it in a completely different way. You shouldn't have to cheat at all, because you could just remove yourself from whatever situation that you're in, and then when what would be cheating is not cheating anymore, because you're not in a relationship anymore. So it's just stuff that you need to get have in your head, just to get, because cheating is just terrible.
It's not good.
Just don't fucking do it. Anyway, either gender.
Like the man, because I could go out somewhere and pick up a woman and take her back. I knew my wife highly suspected what was going on, but I would deny it, figuring it would eventually blow up on me, or perhaps I'd finally get enough validation for it to be out of my system for good, having at least a taste of what my life could have been. Other guys were all about getting.
I do want to say it is very true. The adrenaline of meeting new women and sleeping with new women constantly, attractive ones, it is an ego hit, and it's like a dopamine rush, and it's like something that you got. It's like cookies, you know, or like chips. You just want more and more and more. The feeling of, you know, that desire, that raw sex, and it's like not raw, but you know that, you know, but banging a new girl, like for me, even it's a pretty great feeling. I got to be honest, it's a great feeling, and yeah.
I was more about the intoxicating feeling of the hunt and finally making that kill. I kept pulling off more and more risky escapades until I met someone who turned what I thought was my perfect life upside down again. At the end of September in 2020, I went on a trip to Tampa to speak at a conference. While I was there, I figured I'd match up with some women on the dating apps. One woman stuck out to me in particular, and I was really interested to find out more about her. She actually ended up messaging me before I could even message her, and I saw in her Instagram story that she was reading Stoic philosophy. I met up with her, and we spent the whole night talking until 2 or 3 in the morning. She did resist my attempts to go home with her, but I also didn't try very hard because I didn't really want to treat her just like another girl that I hooked up with. There was definitely something special about this girl. I figured that would be it, but we talked a bit more, and she was down to make
that he's doing all this while he has a wife at home with a kid.
Yeah.
Definitely not behavior that we can condone. It's either it would have been better if he was just doing this earlier in life and got a glimpse of, but now, I mean, now he he got some knowledge, he learned some game, learning how to talk to some girls, and he's out here, and then he meets one girl that sticks out more than the rest. And he's like, oh, I kind of really like this one. Once again, he starts doing all these things. He, goes off the rail, even though he's still married. So, bruh. So, like,
Yeah.
let me. Oh God, where's the fucking? Yeah, yeah, just be careful out here, guys. Don't
the
doing
Yeah,
these
don't do
things.
that. Stop it.
1.5 hour drive out to where I was speaking and to go on a second date. I really liked her enthusiasm and I enjoyed spending time with her. Again, we hit it off and had a great time of just being together. This was not my pickup artist style of doing things. Then I did something I never do. I actually asked her to come out to see me one more time before I had to leave. She already had a date that Sunday, so I told her to cancel it because we'd have way more fun together. And after a little bit of encouragement through an embarrassing video I sent her, she did. But it did take some convincing. Nicole was a very attractive woman and had a lot of guys chasing her. She showed me the dating app messages she would get on our first date.
I do want to point out actually that, yeah, you get. Oh man, I gotta keep saying in every video. These girls are talking to more guys than you think, and I'm not really judging that because I'm talking to multiple girls too. So I don't give a fuck. But
Okay.
Whatever, I'll do it too. I can play the game. I can't play as I'm not a woman, so I can't play the game as equal as them because I can't. The girls can just have a million guys on there, even though most of them are retarded. But like, like yeah, what the fuck was I even saying?
You were talking about. I'm trying to be. You're talking about how women talk to a lot of guys on dating apps.
Yeah, you guys don't realize that. Girls got backups too. You think you're the only guy she's talking to? You got to get to know the girl and then see where it goes, and then don't be trying to rush into things. And of course, she banging other guys probably too. So I think he should have been a little more careful with that. But he seemed to play a little bit more the nice guy role, and they didn't smash on the first or second night. I don't even think they smashed at this point.
I don't even know.
But yeah. I guess we'll have to.
She had her own dating podcast, which definitely made me nervous about getting exposed. I felt it was worth the risk.
Hey, Nicole. All right, I'm trying this one more time. I have tried to record audio for you, and then it didn't work out. My texts aren't coming across right. All I want to say is this. Really enjoyed spending time with you. I feel like we have a deeper connection than I've really experienced with very many people, and I know it's only been a short time. And that's completely out of character for me. If you want, your dog Toto could come up here. Hotel is pet friendly, but like just knowing that a person like you exists in the world, I think to some degree, like it makes me happy inside. Like just knowing you're out.
I just want to say that you shouldn't be going. I don't know if they smashed this. I hope they smash. Please, good Lord, please let them have smashed at this point. You shouldn't be sending all this lovey-dovey stuff before you, especially before you smash, before you get really intimate. You shouldn't. You just. He seems like he was trying a little bit too hard. Just my. Maybe I'm missing some things. I'm not smartest man on the earth, so I don't know everything. Maybe I'm missing something, but maybe. It doesn't seem like it would be the right time to say these lovey-dovey kind of things. You're the first girl I've ever met. That doesn't seem to be very mysterious. It doesn't seem to be very, I don't know. It doesn't seem that maybe she's reciprocating these videos. I don't know.
Yeah, no clue. All I know is that this is, I can concur that this is an embarrassing video.
There. I guess I'm to some degree a lot jaded in life. And I don't know. I've never been in this situation before. Not never, but not for a long time. So, all right, Nicole, that's it. That's all I got to say. Wish you well, and yeah, sorry I couldn't see you again. I would love to.
After I left.
Okay. Why you be saying sorry, bro? Stop saying sorry.
Yeah, don't say sorry.
And it's about the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, I mean, John Simon has rolled up and said he's very successful in other aspects like real estate. So we're not trying to like hate on this guy per se.
Yeah,
it's just not everybody's perfect. He's actually very successful in his own life and finances, and he still's got the 6-pack, and so he's doing great in other areas of his life. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not a hit piece.
Yeah,
It was
no
just,
hating.
We ain't about that. We're trying to just learn, my friend.
We're pretty much, we are calling you out on the things that you already know. So I mean, it's just us reacting to this video, and just take what we say as you already know. So, and we're just putting our spin on it. But we appreciate you, Bulldog, for
We appreciate your
doing-
honesty and coming out to the audience.
Takes a
and
lot to
being-
do some shit like this, and it looks fucking great. I mean,
yeah. So
look-
we
look
gotta
at this.
spread some positivity to this guy, saying, hey, it's good. It's good honesty, great video quality. So there is some good.
I left to go
Yeah, exactly.
back to San Diego. I was in turmoil for the first time in a long time. I had no plans of giving up my way of life that I enjoyed, as wrong as it was. In fact, I've been dating a flight attendant for a couple of years, and she never asked me for any kind of commitment. I had no plans of starting anything serious with her. However, Nicole was different. I'd spent a lot of time with many women over the last few years as I was finding myself, but none of them made me think that I might actually want to go through with this and start a new life. However, after just 3 days with Nicole, I was already contemplating it. I came really close to pulling the trigger right then, but I realized there was no way that Nicole would accept me after I had to drop 3 bombs on her. 1, I was actually married. 2, I had a kid. And 3, I had a vasectomy, so I wasn't likely having any more children.
Oh.
Nicole was young.
I mean, granted, he did say he didn't really want to have kids.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Just 28 at the time, so there was a good chance she wanted kids. In fact, she told me so on one of our dates. As much as I thought we hit it off, I figured there was no way on earth she'd want to see me again if I told her the truth about those 3 things. But I had promised I would see her again, so I figured perhaps we meet up one more time for a trip, have a good time, enjoy each other's company, and I could get to experience for a few days what my life could have been like, and then I'd leave the fantasy and go back to my existing life, probably never see her again. We stayed in touch, but I tried to limit the conversation because I knew there was no serious future for us. However, we did plan a trip in Mexico 3 months later in January of 2021. I splurged and got the honeymoon suite at the resort we were staying at because I thought I might as well make the most of this time and pretend like this was my life. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but again, we hit it off even more strongly than before. That's when I absolutely knew I was in trouble. Nicole was everything I had always wanted and more. All the things that I had stopped believing in were possible. I don't want to get all mushy on you and cliche, but I can say that 2 years later, I still believe it. And that feeling just keeps getting stronger and stronger every day. I went on one more visit after Mexico to see her in Tampa and stay with her under more real life circumstances. And by the end of that visit, I'd actually said the dreaded L word. Here I was, Bulldog mindset, pickup artist with a wife at home and a semi-girlfriend, and I had told a girl I had only spent a total of maybe 10 days with that I loved her. Okay. What a mess I had gotten.
Okay.
oh no,
Guys,
Please don't be smashed.
I mean, listen, once again, respect to John for being so honest.
yes,
Absolutely.
respect.
1000% respect. Not many men would ever come out and say this shit on the internet. So 100% respect, gratitude, no problem. But
However,
don't say you love a girl after 10 days, after seeing after 3 days, 10 days, and probably only smash like less than 10 times. Hopefully, maybe.
I hope.
Just you gotta let that shit unfold more. But I mean,
Yeah.
good for her for getting those free trips.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if
I-
I was a girl, shit,
Shit.
if I was a girl on Tinder, I'd be getting vacations every weekend. I'm
Yo, she
going to
better-
Vegas. Yo, I'm good.
Yo, I hope that she'd be putting out for a honeymoon suite.
fucking,
Yeah.
you better. Like,
My legs would have been
compensation.
would have been open like that. honeymoon suite.
I'm like, yo,
myself into, but I knew what I needed to do.
When I got back home, I told my now ex-wife that I was leaving to go to Florida to be closer to my parents. This was also part of the truth because my mom was dying of Parkinson's. And if I was single, I certainly would have moved to Florida to be closer to her. But of course, it wasn't the whole truth. I told my 9-year-old daughter that her mother and I were getting a divorce and that I would be going to Florida for a while, but that I would be back for her birthday and she'd be able to come and visit me often. I had to try and remain strong in spite of her tears, even though I also felt like crying. I was convinced that no matter how hard this was something that was long overdue, and now I needed to finally do it. Before I could book the plane tickets to leave, I had to call up Nicole and drop the 3 bombs on her that I had kept hidden this whole time. I really wasn't looking forward to doing this, but I knew that our connection was so strong that she would most likely still want to move forward as long as I was moving to Florida and getting a divorce. Talk about difficult conversations. I had 3 of the most difficult ones in my entire life in just a week's time. But I held myself together knowing that I had to soldier through. So I shoved everything I was feeling deep down and carried on. Of course, Nicole was upset, but she had already suspected that I had a kid when I first said we need to talk. The wife part took her by surprise, but most of all, she was understandably upset that I lied to her and for so long.
You never
I
lied to
felt
women.
like I had no choice, though. I went on a lot of dates with women, and I didn't tell any of them I was married and I had a kid, which, reflecting on, was also quite wrong because there wasn't any need for them to know. I never was going to see them again. I didn't tell Nicole because at first, again, I figured I'd never see her. And when we went to Mexico, I thought this was the last time I'd see her. I never expected to fall in so deep. I started packing my stuff on March 4th, 2021, left everything behind to go start a new life in Florida. This was extremely difficult to do, but I felt I had to completely sever ties and I had to go to Florida to finally do this thing that must be done, Nicole
Oh,
or
she used to
not.
live right there.
I knew this would be a better life for me in the long run because I wasn't happy. And I hadn't been happy for many years. And I knew Nicole represented everything I had hoped for and wanted in a woman and a relationship, but had given up on believing was possible. The first month or so was difficult as I was still processing huge changes to my life that came on rather suddenly. My ex wife, not knowing the full truth of the situation, kept trying to get me to come back. Eventually, she figured out what was going on. She had asked me before if there was another woman, but I had denied it. But this time I came clean and told her that there was. I ended up going back to San Diego for my daughter's birthday in April. And when I was there, my ex wife tried to get me to stay, but my mind was already made up. She asked me for more truth about what was going on and wanting to be open and honest for once and to completely rid myself of this double life I was living for so long. I told her about all the women I had slept with. She was, of course, even more upset and shocked
I mean,
by
shit,
this
I would.
revelation, even though she said she wanted the truth. She had never seen me capable of it. She had abused me for so long that she underestimated me. She figured I was too honest and too good to be able to do something so bad. She never understood or acknowledged the dark side of me, even though I tried to warn her about it. I went back to Florida and resumed my new life with Nicole. My daughter came out to visit us, and she immediately took to Nicole, and we all had a good time.
All right,
But
so
things
let's
were starting
let's
to
we'll
win.
just review about what we know so far. So he did admit to his wife what was going on. It seems at first, like with the divorce and everything, it seems like the wife still kind of wanted him back, even though it could be more kind of abuse. Like, please don't stay. Maybe she just didn't want to. Maybe she didn't have another backup guy planned or
Yeah.
something like that. And this seems to be right. The Nicole seems to. It seems that she was okay with. I mean, she's obviously upset, but I guess she. I mean, they're still seeing each other
I
at
guess
this
so.
point in the video.
I guess so.
So I
Yeah.
guess at least,
Things are at least going okay.
with that. And then, and his daughter, hopefully, I just, just for the kid, I hope that she forgives her father for doing all that. At least she's being honest and
Yeah.
coming clean and all that. So I just hope that the rest of her life ends up good, nothing but good things about that. So any other
Yeah.
comment?
Usually for me, like the only thing I really worry about is like the health and safety of this child because they are very young, they very impressionable, and you know, they are growing up in specific situations that can form them for the rest of their life. So if they figure out very early on that they were born into an abusive relationship and the father is running around sleeping with other women and
You're not
seeing
good.
another chick somewhere far away and just decides to just up and leave, where you would feel like it's just out of the blue because you're a child, you're not really thinking about all that stuff, you're too busy doing other things that kids should be worrying about. And then when this all this stuff happens, it's like what, it kind of like earth shattering, and so it can really affect children. Hopefully, yeah, like we said before, hopefully the child really can forgive and hopefully, can see the situation maybe in the future when they get older and they, understand life a little bit better. But I just hope that, you know, the child will, be good going forward up until
Yeah,
that
I
point.
say
So
just don't lie to women and don't lie to your audience, which wouldn't have to happen if you were not lying to women. So
yeah.
Weigh heavily on me. I was consumed with guilt over what I had done. I knew that I had been mistreated severely in my marriage, but I also knew that pain I was causing so many people by what I had done and what I was doing now. My life was good and I was the happiest I had ever been with Nicole, but the guilt kept eating at me. I also felt unstable and lost. I had lived a life for 19 years and suddenly that whole life and everything I believed was gone. Who was I anymore? What was I doing? What did all this mean? What would I do with the photographs and memories from a life that was no longer mine? Nicole was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I was immensely happy being with her. But I had gone so far down the dark path that it was too late for me. Could I come back? Could I actually enjoy the time I was spending with her without feeling the guilt of what I had done? What about my daughter? I missed her. I didn't realize how much until I was gone. I had this fantasy in my head that she'd come and visit once a month and I'd go visit there. But the reality was school breaks and half of the holidays. I felt like my only solution was to get back into the matrix. I wanted to take the blue pill. I wanted to be back where I was so I didn't have to deal with all this.
can't
So
do that.
I tried to go back. I broke up with Nicole, even though I loved her more than I had ever loved anyone before, and I took a flight out to San Diego. I was like one of those people who, spend so much time in prison that they get out and finally have their freedom, and then they're so lost and confused that they commit a crime so they can be put back in. Luckily for me, the prison gates were locked, and I couldn't get back in. I was a mess. I was confused and disoriented, and I wasn't really in my right mind, probably because I had suppressed so much during the last 5 months. I couldn't afford to process everything back then because I knew I had to force myself to leave so I could finally get the life I wanted. But now it was coming back to haunt me, and I was having to deal with everything I had stuffed down and buried deep. When I tried to call it off for good with Nicole because I thought that was the right and noble thing to do so I could suffer alone in a self sacrifice and atone for what I had done, I finally came to my senses. Yes, I had done wrong things, but I wasn't going to give up the best thing that happened to me in my life, and there had been enough self sacrifice. I went back to Tampa even more embarrassed about what I had done, and now I had deeply hurt someone who had been nothing but sweet and kind to me. It was almost too unbearable to think about. Why did Nicole stand by me through all of this? It's a good question, and one I've thought about a lot. It's not because she was weak, but I think it's rather because she was strong. She understood what I was going through and the confusion,
Actually,
pain, and guilt.
we should mention that when a girl's really into you, she'll do crazy things to stay with you. Now, a lot of guys don't know this because they've never had a woman that is so into them. They will go beyond and above just to be with them, right?
Oh yeah.
That is something we call genuine desire, right? A lot of people do
Exactly.
not know what that means or what that is. Like they've heard that those two words together, but they've never experienced those two words together. I am fortunate. Mike is fortunate enough to have been with women. Mike's with his wife, obviously. That show genuine desire. That's why it works, and it's a really beautiful thing. But a lot of guys, they waste their time on girls that do not desire them, and then they wonder why the relationship sucks. Well, you're with a girl that's not even feeling you like that, dog. Get out of there.
Yeah.
But this girl obviously was feeling him in a way that she had that desire. She wanted to be with him. So that's why it works. And so when guys wonder why did she stay with that asshole? Well, because she really feeling him. She likes that, or for better or worse, sometimes even the murderers and stuff, they just love that guy. They can't get enough of him. He's just they got that desire. It's a very powerful thing. Girls to do some crazy shit for guys they're really into.
Yeah, exactly.
I had been hiding, which was now coming to the surface. We had a connection like nothing I could ever describe, a connection that was different from any other connection she or I had ever experienced in our lives. The next few months went much better. I thought I had completely gotten all this straight in my mind and I was sure of my choices. Nicole and I went to Jamaica for her birthday in October, and we had a great time. We made plans for Christmas. We were going to go to visit her parents in Virginia, and after that, my daughter was going to come up and visit us for a week. But something still didn't feel right to me. I knew Nicole was the right person for me, but I didn't want to keep hurting her by what I was still internally dealing with. The big thing that was weighing heavily on me at this point was my daughter. I knew that I needed to be a parent, and I couldn't do that remotely. I needed to be there. I also had not finalized the divorce, so there were still a lot of negotiations going back and forth. This was not fair to Nicole. I wanted to close that chapter of my life so I could feel like I could officially start a new one. And I was still feeling lost. I had started a new life in Florida, but everything in my life had changed so rapidly that I felt like I didn't have a center anymore. I didn't know who I was. I would wake up some mornings and forget where I was and think I was still in my old life. I needed some kind of stability to get my bearings again so that I could actually start a new life, and my daughter had to be a big part of it. I decided that I needed to do this alone so that I could have the space to really sort this out without being in a relationship where I would have to worry about someone else and how they were feeling. I wanted to get all this figured out and then start my new life with Nicole, but it was too big of an ask for me to make, especially after all I had put her through. So I broke up with Nicole again and bought a one-way ticket to San Diego. My plan was to take up my role again as a real parent to my daughter, finalize the divorce, and establish some stability. And then hopefully, somehow I could win back Nicole when I was absolutely sure I had dealt with all of this and I'd never have to put her through any more of this drama and pain again. I finalized the divorce on January 4th, 2022, and negotiated a schedule to see my daughter every Wednesday and every other weekend. I got an apartment and a routine, and I felt like I was finally doing the right thing and gaining some stability in my life.
Stop
Hey,
texting
Matt,
girls when they
so
go.
what are your thoughts so far while the ad plays?
Yeah, I mean, man, he's such a roller coaster, and
This guy,
honestly,
yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. With because we follow Bulldog Mindset, uh, on YouTube and on social media and stuff. And I remember there was one time he brought up how he was removing himself because he was part of what they call the manosphere on YouTube. And so
Yeah, the
he
manosphere could be good or bad, and
he
so.
I remember, I think it was it last year? I think it was last year or the year before, whenever at some point, probably during this specific thing, he removed himself from that space
Not really sure
to
why. Probably
continue
because a lot
doing
of weird guys on that.
continue doing whatever he was doing. And I feel like with all the stuff that was happening, you gotta remember all this stuff is happening while he's doing YouTube. Like, he's doing YouTube and he has all these other things that he's doing, like with Bulldog Mindset and whatever other business stuff that he's doing. All this is happening while he's doing all that stuff. So it like, it's a lot of stuff happening all at once. And so have understanding where he's coming from. It's kind of crazy to think, because like he has like pre-recorded videos or whatever that he puts out, and then he's taking one-way trips to San Diego or wherever he's going to be with whoever and deal with whatever specific issue, but everyone that watches has no clue that any of this is happening. And so now everything's coming out, and now you understand a little bit more. That's why I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is why he removed himself from that, why he put out that post saying that he was maybe this is a reason. I don't know. But
yeah, well, a lot of people, you just don't know who, you don't know behind the scenes of the people that you follow online. You really don't know. That's why you have to be very wary of who you follow and what I'm not saying that John's a bad guy or anything. It's just, you would have known if he never put this video out, you know what I mean? But
I flew back out to Tampa to get Nicole and bring her back with me, and we officially restarted our new lives together in San Diego, California. I want to take a moment to say how amazing of a woman Nicole is, to go through all I had put her through and still stand by my side, even move all the way across the country, leaving her life behind to be with me and to be a step parent to my daughter. Even though my intention was never to hurt her, I did hurt her. She did not deserve that hurt, but I am extremely grateful that she stuck through it and stuck with me. There is not a person in this world who could ever replace her. We bought a house here in San Diego and set it up so that we'd have my daughter 50% of the time, so we could both be parents to her. We got engaged in Hawaii on August 10th, 2022. I've also kept this a secret until now, but we got officially married on November 15th. We just did a courthouse ceremony so that we could be married before 2023 for tax purposes, but we are planning an official wedding in Virginia in October of this year. So, even though the last couple of years have been filled with drama, the story does have a happy ending after all. I want to share with you a few lessons I learned from this whole ordeal so that maybe you can avoid some of the mistakes I made. First, make sure you know who you're marrying. I'm not saying my ex-wife was a horrible person, but she definitely was not the right person for me. I really didn't know her enough or myself well enough to know that at 21 years old. I had my reservations and hesitations, but I didn't listen to my gut. Second, don't assume you'll fix problems later. Do not marry someone until you have all of the major problems fixed first. If anything, marriage makes it more difficult to fix problems because you lose much of your agency as a man and cannot exit the situation as easily. Situations change, but people don't. If you're being disrespected and not being treated right, do not get married thinking you can fix her or that she'll grow. In fact, if that is happening, you should just leave, period. There is no need to waste your time with someone who is not treating you in the way you want to be treated, because there is someone out there who will. Third, no matter what the situation is, cheating makes things worse.
Exactly.
It's never the right answer, no matter what the justification is. Look how much turmoil it created in my own life over the past 2 years. If you want to cheat, just leave. It will make your life much simpler and avoid a large amount of unnecessary drama.
Yep, don't do it.
Along those same lines, do not live a double life. It is so much easier to be transparent. Once I got into the web of lies, I was caught like a bug. The more I squirmed and tried to get free, the more I got tangled up in it. My whole life became a lie on top of lies. I had to lie to my ex-wife about where I was going. I had to lie to women I met about my situation. I had to lie to my daughter. I had to lie to my family, lie to my friends. I had to lie to Nicole, and I had to lie to myself. And I had to lie to you guys because I hid the truth from you. You might wonder why I kept this a secret for so long. Well, there are the obvious reasons. I couldn't tell you guys what was going on because then I'd be found out. I had to pretend I was just teaching pickup, but I couldn't say I was actually doing it. I had to pretend I wasn't married and try to hide all of the traces of that truth because I couldn't risk some girl finding out and then blowing everything up. That's why I'm making this video, to let the truth finally come out. There has been a lack of authenticity in my videos because I couldn't speak plainly. This has been extremely disturbing to me because in all other areas of my life, I try to be as transparent and authentic as possible. I've been wanting to talk about and discuss these things with you for so long, and now I finally can. In every interview, I always said, I don't talk about my personal life, and now you know why. One more obvious question that I'm sure you're probably wondering, what about the money? Yes, I lost half of my assets, literally got cut in half. Probably actually more so because I had to buy my ex-wife out of my business.
Ooh.
So I own the businesses free and clear, and I own half of my real estate empire with my ex-wife. Fortunately, I made enough money to become financially free more than twice over, so I'm still able to live completely off the passive income I generate from real estate.
He's a millionaire. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think he's confirmed it before. Well, it has been confirmed before, but he makes a good amount of. But if this is an average guy, so you're making like 60K a year, 50K a year,
Yeah, you're
25K a year.
Yeah.
No, average man be
done.
fucked. So it's so important to really get into the right relationship with the right woman. Otherwise, your future is in trouble.
Doomed.
And other passive income sources like my books and ownership in several companies. Things would have gone much differently had I not set myself up for the future like I did by building my businesses and investing in real estate. That is why it is so important to get your financial future set up so that you can reach financial freedom. I don't want to take away from this story and make it a plug, but I'm still running a business here, and I would love to help you become financially free as well. If you'd like to find out more about how to do this, just click the link below in the description.
No, we don't got it.
And book
right.
a complete.
So we can't really. Yeah, I mean, good for you. We'll come up with our own products soon too. But yeah, guys. So what have we learned? Well, first of all, hold on. Yay! You know, for him being honest, and finally, if you ever want to check out his channel, now you know why. If you go through the history of his channel, you'll know why certain things were said. Right. It's a very interesting topic, I think. So yeah, he lost half his shit, just like all the red pill guys on YouTube say. It's true, happened. Just like a lot of people say when they warn against marriage, he did lose half his stuff. So if you
He did it to himself.
yeah, he did.
Completely.
He did. It
But
wasn't
at
the woman's
least,
fault. It's his fault.
yeah, but at least he knows that it's his fault, and he clearly said everything that needed to be said with the lessons learned and everything like that. The things that people can take from that video and apply it to themselves and understand like the mistakes that he's made and how certain people that might be in the same situation can fix their own situation.
Yeah, a lot of so he did end up with Nicole and the girl.
That's cool.
And she's once again she cucked herself. I mean, it's not really the proper terminology, but I'm saying anyway, she's raising his child with her because she really desires him. Even though most of the time, a lot, not most of a lot of the time, it's the guy who's raising the girl's kid because he cucked himself. But it's the opposite this time. And if a girl's really having that desire for you, then yeah, she'll do whatever to stay with you because she loves you like that and she really wants to be with you. She'll raise your kid, she'll cook you breakfast, and she'll do all that stuff if she really feels you. So it's a very interesting story. Shout out to John for being honest. I think once again, none of this would have ever happened if he didn't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
He should never have lied to himself, which in return caused him to lie to other people. And that's not cool. Lying to women was going to get you to lose half your stuff. Exhibit A, right? Obviously, you will lose half your stuff. And lying to yourself is an awful thing. You need to. That's why, we'll take that lesson. Thank you, sir. We will take that lesson. We will be completely honest with the audience. That's why Mike openly says that he's married, which is true, and I am openly not married, which is very true. Very much true. I'm enjoying my life right now the way it is. I'm having fun. And that's the way I want to do it because I am being honest with myself and knowing what I want in this time. Could that change? Yeah, sure. And in Mike's case, he is being honest with himself. He's okay with getting married. He's okay with that life and what comes with it because he has a good relationship, and that's how he set himself up to be. So if you're not Mike, or someone with that kind of mindset, don't get married. If you're someone like me, but you're trying to be someone like Mike, even though you have my mind inside you, I know it sounds weird, then you shouldn't be like that. You could choose one of these lifestyles, but try not. Obviously, Bulldog Mindset chose both these lifestyles
at the same time,
and look what that got him. It got him questioning everything constantly, hating on himself, not being very good to himself.
Exactly.
So choose your lifestyle wisely. Choose what you want, right? Life A, life B. If you want to have one woman and just be monogamous and you can do it and she treats you very well, 10 out of 10, remember, go with Mike's situation. If you want to, learn, I don't know about learn pickup, but if you want to just learn how to talk to women, just have a good time and just have fun in life, and you pick exhibit B.
Not saying that I don't have fun. I do have fun.
Well, like my kind of fun. Yeah, my Mike has his own. Mike gets to experience things that I have not yet. Like you got the wedding and all that shit, and I just give Mike crazy fucking stories.
Yeah,
and just like I supply him.
That's why I feel like we work the best because we have the same. We think about things the same way, but we come from two completely different areas, and I feel like having people like you who are watching these live streams or videos on the playback can get a good aspect of like where we come from and the things that we have seen and the things that we've done and where we are right now and how we take them. So like, my thoughts as a married man to a specific topic and Andrew's specific thoughts on a different topic as a single person and so on and so forth. You can learn different things because not everyone is just the same person. Everyone is completely different, and you could take and understand ideas and things from people who are different on the same channel. So
yeah, so take these lessons very very strongly and just try not to repeat some of the mistakes that others have. I try to learn from them and just be I mean, it seemed to work out for him in the end. I found a girl he's more compatible with, which is good. He had to lie to do it, but a lot of times
it got there eventually.
But a lot of guys, they don't have a girl who has desire for them, like in the video, like that Nicole had for John, right? They don't have girls that feel him like that. So a lot of guys, if they did what Bulldog Mindset did, the girl would have never seen them again, and they would have stopped banging a new guy and would. But the fact that the girl had so much desire for bulldog mindset, which is why it worked. But a lot of you guys can't pull that off because you're not with a woman that has true desire for you that will stick with you no matter what. Some of you do, but not all of you. So just something to be aware. You can tell by a woman's behavior whether she really desires you or not. So if you guys ever ask yourself, does my girl desire me? Look at her actions. Look at her recent actions. Do they prove that she desires you? You guys will be able to tell by the behavior. So anything else to add?
No, I think we hit everything on the money today.
Yeah, guys, I hope you guys found this useful and hope you had fun watching this video with us. So make sure you guys hit the like button on the video, show some support, and make sure you leave a comment in the comment section of your thoughts on all this, and leave a kind comment or a negative one, whatever. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not already. If you want to donate to our Cash App, that funds go towards the channel, and we're trying to hustle out here. You can donate to the Cash App, link in the description below. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video or live stream.
Oh, yeah. See you later.